Quick update on my Bali villa. We're almost done. It has been a wild ride, almost 6 months of delays and a lot of unexpected learnings along the way. In this video, I'm going to show you where we are right now and some of the lessons which I knew I learned before entering this process. But fortunately, now that I've gone through a full cycle of building a villa in Bali, I'm happy to share those lessons with you. So this video might be for you if you're thinking about buying or building a villa in Bali. It might save you a year of headache, so stay tuned. In about 2 months, this villa will be done. This whole process started 1.5 years ago. I went to Bali on a holiday and I was having dinner with 2 other friends, and we were talking about how much we enjoyed life in Bali. And we were playing around with the idea of buying a plot of land together and dividing it by 3 and to build villas next to each other. And that's exactly what we're seeing behind us. So here in the street, and I'm going to show you guys in just a little bit, there are 3 villas. Together we bought 12 area of land, and we've been developing it ever since. It took about 2 months for us to source the right land. It's quite the process to find the right plot of land because there's a lot of competition and the price of land is going up very rapidly because everyone wants to get their hands on the good plots of land. So if you want to source the right land, then you either need to work with a really great real estate agent or you need to have some local connections. You've got some local municipalities here or some local people running the neighborhoods here. They're called the banyars, and they often know who owns the plots of land. So you might have to collaborate with them in order to see where there's still plots available. In any case, we had help with that and we discovered this plot of land. It's in a quiet expat neighborhood. We're the last ones to buy here, to buy and build here, which is really nice because oftentimes people in Bali want to have rice paddy views or some nice view of the nature, and just 1 or a few years later, suddenly there's a big resort built next to them. Because we're the last ones building here in this neighborhood, we already know exactly everything that's around us. I know that our neighbors here are not crazy party people who will keep us up until 3, 4 a.m. at night. I know there's some neighborhoods here in Bali and Canggu where that's the case, so we didn't want to have that. So 2 months to source the land, then it took us another 2 to 3 months in order to finalize the design with the designer and the design studio that we basically contracted. And then we could start the building process. And if you go back in my videos, 1.5 years ago, this was a very big, almost plot of swamp. So we had to lay the right foundation, and laying the foundation also takes roughly 2 months. And after 2 months, the actual building process could start. So yeah, they'll obviously start with level 1. Next, they'll add level 2. Then they'll start working on the pool. And then they'll start finalizing the bathrooms, the bedrooms. And finally, they're going to place the furniture, which is all custom designed and built into the villas. So I'm going to show you guys a little tour of how everything is looking right now. So come with me. Welcome to my villa that's currently being built. The construction workers are still working behind me, so if you hear some sound in the background, hello. So here is the pool. Fun story about the pool. It is the 3rd time that we're going to redo the pool. We first had some tiles and I thought those tiles weren't that beautiful. So I wanted to change it again. Then we changed it to these tiles. And now I don't like these tiles, so we're going to change it again. I think that's part of the building process. I think one of the big lessons that I had along the way was if you want to build a villa yourself, when you're going through the process, the sooner you get to the completion time or the completion date or the final finish that you're going to cross, you're going to realize that you want to still change a few things left and right. And obviously that's very costly and that can cause delays. So could this villa have been completed faster? Yes, with the lessons that I have right now. But I guess that's part of the learning process. For me, this was a test villa where I learn everything, where I crack the code. And in future projects, we can probably do it a lot faster and smarter. Yeah, so this villa is an L-shaped villa with 2 levels. So on the ground floor, there is the living room, which is just around here, if you can follow me. So yeah, over here is the living room. the kitchen area. And let's try to go inside, if you can follow me. Yeah, so everything is in full swing. This villa is supposed to be done in 2 or 3 months, so everyone is going full throttle in order to hopefully make it in time. We expect it to be done in August. So next to the living room is the office, obviously a very important space. So it was supposed to be a 3-bedroom villa, but I decided to turn one of those bedrooms, actually the master bedroom, into my office. Why? Because I'm probably going to spend most of my time in the office. That's where the money is made. So it needs most of the space. Sorry to my girlfriend, but it's a really important space. So yeah, this space is the money room where I'm going to spend most of my time. I wanted to have lots of light, so you see big windows everywhere. It's gonna have custom shelves, a custom desk. It's gonna have an own bathroom, shower, everything. So yeah, it's gonna be a very convenient space. Also made a lot of changes in the process. So it took us 2 to 3 months in order to finalize the first design. And then throughout the building process, every time when you go to a nice hotel or to a friend's villa or you go to an Airbnb, you get a new bit of inspiration and then you want to add it into your villa, which is possible. It costs a little bit of extra money and a little bit of extra time. And as a result, 6 months of delay in the end. Okay, let's go to the second level. Be careful. Yeah, they're still working on the staircase. Okay, let's go into this bedroom. So this is going to be the guest bedroom. And as you can see, we have a very big area here on the roof. And there was so much space left, which I thought was a pity. So we wanted to see if we could make good use of this space. So we decided to add a sauna, which they are constructing over here, a custom built sauna, which again added more delay and more cost to the construction. And we're also building an outside tub, which is also going to add a little bit more flair to this outside area. And if you turn around, here's where the guest bedroom is from the outside. That's where our bedroom is going to be. And that is our villa. We have got a nice view on our neighbor's garden over here. Hi neighbor. No, yeah, I can't wait for this to be done. So the reason why I'm recording this video is because I also want to share my 5 biggest learnings from going through this entire construction cycle. And the biggest learning or the biggest obstacle is that there aren't many great resources on the internet that really explain step by step how this whole process works. When you go on YouTube and you type in build a villa in Bali or dream villa Bali or buying a villa in Bali, those kind of things, when you search that on YouTube or Google, you're probably only going to find listings from real estate agents that show really beautiful villas, but nobody really teaches you how to do it. So in this process, I had to speak to a lot of friends, family members. I had to speak to a lot of real estate agents, people that already built here. And slowly but surely, I had to piece all the puzzle pieces together myself. And to be honest, I'm still in the process of figuring everything out and perfecting my knowledge of what is going on here. So there's a really big barrier and really big knowledge barrier for new real estate investors to get into this market. And I do believe that there's a very big opportunity in the future for someone to, you know, give a little bit more insight in this space. So I'm also curious to hear your thoughts if you're watching this video right now and you would like to see more informational content about how the real estate market over here really works from the perspective of a real estate investor or foreign real estate investor. Let me know in the comments below. The second obstacle that I ran in, and which you will probably run into as well, is finding a good plot of land. Real estate or the price of land in Bali has been going up quite rapidly because there's just so much demand. Bali is one of the most popular tourist destinations in Asia. As a result, there's a lot of people that are coming here. There's a lot of people that are building resorts, building villas, accommodations, A lot of people want to build their own villa. So everyone is basically competing for the same A locations, right? So if you even find a good spot, then probably it's going to be super overpriced, because the owners also understand that it's a very high in demand plot of land. So probably finding the best location or finding the right location, that's going to be one of your most important moves that you can make. So I had help along the way, and I recommend you, if you are here and you're interested in building or buying a villa in Bali, I highly recommend you to find help, because it's going to probably save you a lot of time, money and energy. And you don't want to build your villa in the wrong location. That's going to be very bad for, maybe you want to rent it out, so it's going to be very bad for the occupancy. It's going to be very bad for your resale value. So getting a team of experienced people that can help you, definitely that's something that I recommend. My third insight that I want to share with you guys is that the construction is probably going to take longer and is going to cost you more than you expect. I have some friends over here who cut a lot of corners. They thought they could build a cheap villa, so they went for a cheap property developer. They went for the cheapest materials, and now, while they even started before me, their villa is still not done yet. And I believe if you pay monkeys, you get peanuts. Literally, if you're trying to cut corners, it will come back to you eventually. You will pay the price. Especially in a region like Bali, where there's a lot of very intense weather conditions. There's a lot of sunshine, there's a lot of tropical storms. So if you're trying to work with the cheapest materials, or if you're trying to work with people that are not really experienced, then eventually it will come back to you. So my philosophy is, I always like to prefer to pay a little bit more upfront, so that I have less headache in the back. And that's exactly what I did with this construction as well. I hired an experienced designer, an experienced project manager. I worked with really great materials, and I do believe that for the next, upcoming years, that this villa is going to be really well positioned. It's going to have relatively a lot less maintenance than other villas. And even though my villa is delayed, I know that it's mostly because I made a lot of design changes as we went along in the process. My conclusion with this whole journey is, if you don't really care too much about customization, because maybe you don't want to live there yourself, you just want to rent out the villa, then it's probably not the best for you to build your own villa. I believe that building your own villa is maybe a little bit more of an ego thing. People like to say, like, I built my own villa in Bali. But if you care about time, money and energy, and you want to get the best deal, then maybe it's just the best for you to buy something that's already being built or something that's already done, and maybe make a few tweaks left and right. The fourth insight that I want to share with you is, right now there are quite some villas which are being built here in Bali. It's becoming really a big thing. Everyone wants to get into the Bali real estate market. And what do you do when the supply is increasing? Well, I read this book called The Blue Ocean Strategy. And the Blue Ocean Strategy outlines that with anything that you're doing, business or investing or properties, there's two paths that you can walk. Number one, you can jump into an ocean with many sharks competing for the same market share. And when all of those sharks are competing, no one is really the winner. That's why I believe that it's much better to create your blue ocean, your own niche, where you're the one that is dominating, where you are the biggest shark in the ocean. So how does that relate to building a villa in Bali? Well, everyone is basically copy-pasting the same concept. Either a slick Mediterranean-looking villa with arches and a nice light-colored pool, or the second one is like a modern villa. But when I was looking for villas to stay myself, what I think is really important is I want to have an office in my villa. Because for me, doing work and focusing on my work and building something is really important. So I want to have a really great environment where I can focus on getting my work done without having to go to a co-working space or a cafe where there's like very loud music in the background. But I couldn't really find any houses that had built-in offices. So in the past 2-3 villas where I stayed, I basically had to rebuild one of the bedrooms and turn it into an office temporarily. Now, I would have preferred just going into a plug-and-play villa where there was already an office space built in, so that I didn't have to move things around and make a big mess out of it. So my personal philosophy with this villa and how I want to create my blue ocean is I want to create the perfect villa for digital nomads where they can sleep in a nice villa with a nice garden, a nice pool, but also have a built-in really great office area where they can work, where they can record videos. On the roof we have our sauna, which is really good for their health, for their fitness, their wellness. So they basically have everything included. On top of that, we're also very close to one of the best gyms here in Canggu, Nirvana, which is very popular amongst digital nomads. So I took all of those components or all of those factors into consideration to create the perfect offer for my specific audience. Digital nomads that want to work and live in Bali and enjoy the lifestyle that comes with that. Now the fifth insight that I have is building your villa is one thing, or buying your villa is one thing. But once you have it, you need to run it. It's like a business. So you need to find good staff. You need to have cleaners, you need to have security guards. One thing that I want to show you guys in a bit as well is we have our own street. We still haven't figured out what the name of our street is going to be. In the past few videos, you guys shared your suggestions in the comments below. So if you still have any creative ideas for how we could call our street, drop it in the comments below. But yeah, the next step is finding your staff members. Yes, there's a lot of people looking for jobs, but are they all A players? Do they speak English well? Are they reliable? Do they show up every single day? So yeah, that's a process that we're in right now. We're building our dream team of staff members for these 3 villas. Right now we're hiring around 3 different cleaners that all are A players that speak English very well. We want to have 3 security guards because we have our own security post here on the corner. We want to have a villa manager, a gardener, a pool guy. So all of those need to be sourced. And if you don't have the right connections, then that might as well cost you a lot of time, money and energy. So I'm trying to figure out that part of the game right now. If I learn or if I crack the code, I'm going to share those insights with you as well. But I hope that these insights were useful to you. Okay, we're back outside again. Here behind me, you see our street, which we're currently finalizing. And the nice thing is we made a deal with our neighbor on the other side of the street that we're going to combine the road and build it into a really nice looking, luxurious style road together with a security post on the corner. And I believe that's really nice as well for the uniform look of the street, the feel. So all in all, let's wrap up this video. It has been a very interesting journey, lots of lessons along the way. I hope that you got good value out of this video. If you did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment below if you want me to make more video updates like this one. Actually, I want to give you guys a little bit of a heads up. Right now, I'm in the process of finalizing a deal to secure a plot of 2,300 square meters of land in order to build approximately another 10 villas. And with the learnings that we have from this development project, we expect that we can do it a lot better, faster, and that we can really set a really high quality standard here in Bali. And if you want to follow that journey, then make sure to follow me here on YouTube. All right, thanks for watching. Peace out and take care.